Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to another video from Average FPL. Today we're just going to have a little review of Game Week 34. Have a look at Game Week 35, which is quite a straightforward game week, really, in my opinion, and just have a quick look ahead to Game Week 36, which is where I'm going to probably be using the bench boost to maximize the points. Kind of running out of options and where to use it, so going to have to use it at some point. Looking at my team from Game Week 34, I think it's a real, got away with it a little bit with Ward Prowse scoring 2 goals. Captain Kane, which I thought was pretty good at the time, but obviously there were better options throughout the team. Probably should have gone with a double Game Week player like Havertz or even Thiago Silva. And I had quite a bit of points on the bench as well. Could have played Cash instead of Cody. Really gambled on that Wolves clean sheet and it didn't pay off. But you live and learn and we move forward from there. So it gave me a game week rank of just outside 2.5 million, and I did actually have a green arrow as well. My green arrow I think was something about up 20k, and I've just broken the 2,000 points mark. So where my rank is at the moment, although it's not ideal, it is still near or thereabouts my best game week, sorry, my best overall rank for the season, which was about just inside 700k. So the fixtures for this game week are as follows, and looking at teams to target, it kind of depends on, if you've used a wild card in the last few weeks, you're probably not looking to make that many changes. You're probably looking to roll over a transfer for game week 36. Say if you used your wildcard in 34, and therefore you're kind of just planning ahead anyway. This game week's already planned for. But if you are looking at getting players in, obviously, someone like Liverpool players would be good. Although they've got that difficult Champions League game coming up, they are 2-0 ahead of that. It is worth noting that they might rest players against someone like Newcastle, but they also can't afford to drop points in the league as well. You think Man City are playing Leeds, that's kind of a done deal. Both teams that they can't afford to drop points, so they're going to be playing the best teams. And with Liverpool, that means playing, you've got less depth really than you do at Man City. So those Salah and Mane's, whilst they could get rested, I would say it's quite unlikely. I would say, you're more likely to have a bit of rotation in the central midfield than those attacking players. But probably these teams, you might think, oh, Man City against Leeds, Liverpool against Newcastle, they're going to win, 4-5-0. But the reality probably is that they'll try and get something like 2-0 up early on in the first half and then just keep the ball and pass it out for the rest of the game because all they need to do at this stage is win. And therefore they don't risk injuries later on. So yeah, the players are likely to start, but I would expect them to not play 90 minutes. So if we're looking outside of there, you could maybe say Villa at home to Norwich, possible if you've got someone like Ollie Watkins, although Villa's form isn't great. Chelsea away at Everton and Spurs away at Leicester. I may even say Arsenal away at West Ham. The reason is because Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, they don't have European football. They are trying to get Champions League next season, whereas teams like Leicester and West Ham, they're focusing on those European semi-finals. So if you're thinking of targeting teams, it is targeting those teams who are playing teams who either don't have anything to play for or who have their mind set on other competitions. So I wouldn't bet against Spurs players captaining someone like Kane even or Arsenal players if you've got someone like Smith Rowe, Saka. I think that might be a reasonable captain this game week. Maybe wrong, but I guess we'll find out. This is my team now. So I have made one transfer already, and it is kind of a sideways move in some senses. I got Fofana in for Amate. So I got a cheap Leicester defender in for a cheap Leicester defender. Now, I had 2 transfers. I've still got 1 million in the bank. I'm not looking at making any more transfers. What I am looking at doing is setting up for my bench boost in 36. The reason I took out Amate was really because Leicester have defenders coming back from injuries. I know I've just given a load of reasons not to put in Leicester players, but their fixtures against Everton and Norwich, I think, in that game week 36 is just too good, and Fofana will be playing probably, hopefully, in both of those games. And at the very least, I need players that are going to play. I don't really like having Cody and Sa for the double game week 36. I also don't like having Dan Burn. The rest of the team is all right. So I will have 2 transfers to spend. So I feel like if I can get a couple more double game week players for 36, and then I'm going to free hit in 37 where I'm just not going to have the same double game week players. So the captain's on Salah at the moment. I think Newcastle away is great. I think I could also go with Havertz as well. It's probably between those two. I know I mentioned Spurs, possibly captaining Kane. So that is an option, maybe between Salah, Havertz, and Kane. So let me know what you think if you had those 3 players, or am I, missing someone incredibly obvious in who to captain this game week? Just with a look ahead. Okay, so this is the double game week. You had to get it pretty small to even fit it on the screen, to be honest. But these are the teams and the fixtures that we're going to have in 36. If you are planning on bench boosting or free hitting in 36, if you've saved that free hit, this is what you're up against. So teams to target, really, I think Man United just have 1 fixture, so you would be staying away from them anyway, even if it is Brighton. I think teams like Chelsea look great. Depends on how Champions League fixtures go. If you wanted to look at someone like Liverpool, I'd be inclined to move away from Spurs. Well, not move away. I'd say if you've got Spurs in and you're not free hitting, obviously you keep them. I would say if you have got Spurs and, oh, sorry, if you've not got Spurs, I wouldn't 100% bring them in, because I think Liverpool away, Arsenal at home, whilst they could still score, they do have the risk of being inconsistent. I do like Leicester as a one-off, especially if they get, if they depends how they get through in Europe. If they are managing to get through, then obviously that focus is going to be on the final. But you could say if they get knocked out, then they're going to be feel a bit negative. They've got not really to play for, or sort of the pressure's off and they're just going to play with a load of freedom. Because you do get that on occasions. Teams have nothing to play for, so these usual defensive teams, like Wolves maybe, they can let the handbrake off a bit and they can start attacking, and it really leads to a lot more points than you would expect. I would maybe say you think Arsenal, Leeds at home, Spurs away. That's maybe better than the Spurs fixtures, but Arsenal again inconsistent. And other than that, there's no real standout teams. I do quite like the look of someone like Everton. Maybe if you want to take a bit of a risk and get a Richarlison or a Calvert-Lewin in, depending on those reasons we've given about Leicester and they're away at Watford. But that's the double game weeks there. I think, as I am right now, I'm pretty happy with how it's going to look. But if you can see some more players that you think that I should get in prep for this double game week, please let me know. If you've got any questions, let me know. Please like and subscribe on the video. I do really appreciate the support. I know I've got some people that are supporting most of the videos, if not all the videos, and I do appreciate that. And yeah, thanks very much for listening. I will see you in the next one.